What if I told you there is a country where the calendar doesn't have 4 seasons, but 72? A place where an ancient company has survived for 1,400 years, and where millions of people celebrate Christmas not with a turkey, but with a bucket of fried chicken? Today, we are diving into part 1 of 50 facts about Japan that will completely change how you see the world, including one island ruled entirely by rabbits that hides a dark, secret past. You'll want to stick around for number 50 because it proves that even the most organized nation on Earth has a very quirky side. Fact 1. While most of us live by 4 seasons, Japan once divided the year into 72 micro-seasons. Imagine a calendar so precise it tells you exactly when the east wind melts the ice or when the mist starts to linger. These 5-day windows forced people to appreciate the tiniest shifts in nature, a level of mindfulness that still permeates Japanese culture today. Fact 2. This obsession with nature is even more apparent on Aoshima and Tashirojima, islands where cats are essentially the governing body. On these cat islands, felines outnumber humans significantly. They aren't just pets, they are guardians of the local fishing industry, and today, they've turned these quiet docks into global tourism hotspots. Fact 3. If you aren't a cat person, Japan has an alternative. Okunoshima, better known as Rabbit Island. Located in the Hiroshima prefecture, this island is home to hundreds of tame, hopping residents. If you sit down with a bag of pellets, you will be swarmed by a fluffy crowd. It's a literal paradise for animal lovers, but it's just one example of how Japan shares its land with the wild. Fact 4. Speaking of wildlife, have you ever seen a monkey take a spa day? In the Jigokudani Monkey Park in Nagano, Japanese macaques, or snow monkeys, spend their winters soaking in natural, steaming hot springs. They sit shoulder to shoulder, eyes closed in bliss, looking eerily human as the snow falls around their heads. Fact 5. While monkeys enjoy the water, humans in Tokyo are enjoying the world's best food. Tokyo quietly holds the world record for fine dining, boasting more Michelin stars than any other city. At times, it has doubled the count of Paris. Whether it's a 3-star sushi counter or a hidden ramen shop, the culinary discipline here is unmatched. Fact 6. You don't even need a restaurant to find great items because Japan's vending machines are on another level. With over 5 million machines, they are more than just soda dispensers. You can buy hot coffee, fresh flowers, umbrellas, and even surgical masks on a random rural corner. It's the ultimate symbol of Japanese convenience and public trust. Fact 7. That convenience extends to agriculture with the famous square watermelons. By growing the fruit inside tempered glass cases, farmers forced them into a cube shape. This started so they would fit better in small Japanese refrigerators. But today, they are mostly sold as high-end gifts, sometimes costing hundreds of dollars. Fact 8. While the fruit is high-tech, Japanese bureaucracy often relies on the ancient past. Instead of signing their names, many Japanese people use a Hanko, a personal seal engraved with their name in kanji. From opening a bank account to buying a house, you don't use a pen, you use your stamp. Fact 9. Before we move on to the high-tech side of Japan, we have to talk about green tea. It's not just a beverage, it's a cultural pillar. From the meditative ritual of the matcha tea ceremony to matcha-flavored Kit Kats, this leaf is everywhere. It's the flavor of the nation. Fact 10. Japan's high-tech toilets might be the most famous culture shock for visitors. These washlets feature heated seats, built-in bidets, and even Autoheim, a button that plays the sound of rushing water to mask any noises for privacy. It's a level of hospitality applied to the most private of moments. Fact 11. Hospitality in Japan often means respecting hard work, which leads to Inemuri. This translates to sleeping while present. In Japan, falling asleep at your desk or on a train isn't seen as laziness. It's often viewed as a sign that you have worked yourself to the point of exhaustion for your company. It's a badge of honor. Fact 12. If you find this fascinating, you really should hit that subscribe button. We explore the deepest corners of global culture and history every week, and you don't want to miss our upcoming deep dive into the hidden world of the samurai. Fact 13. When the Japanese stay awake, they party hard, especially at the Nebuta Matsuri. This festival features gargantuan, glowing paper floats depicting mythical warriors and demons. They are paraded through the streets of Inemuri at night, creating a neon-lit dreamscape that pulls you into ancient folklore. Fact 14. In Kyoto, the Gion Matsuri takes this to a more traditional level. For the entire month of July, the city turns into a moving museum. Massive wooden floats called yamaboko, some weighing 12 tons, are pulled through the streets without a single nail being used in their construction. Fact 15. The sky gets in on the action too during Hamamatsu Matsuri, the giant kite festival. Teams compete to fly massive, intricately designed kites over sand dunes. It's a tradition to celebrate the birth of a child, which connects perfectly to the next fact. Fact 16. On May 5th, for Children's Day, the skies of Japan are filled with Koinobori, carp-shaped windsocks. Each carp represents a family member, with the black carp representing the father and smaller ones for the children. They symbolize the strength of a fish swimming upstream. Fact 17. All these traditions exist within the world's largest urban area, Greater Tokyo. With 37 million residents, more people live in this metropolitan area than in the entire country of Canada. It is a sprawling, neon-lit organism that never stops. Fact 18. The heart of this giant is Shinjuku Station, the busiest train station on the planet. Over 3.5 million people pass through its gates every single day. That is more than the population of some entire countries moving through a single building daily. Fact 19. Despite this chaos, the trains are legendary for their punctuality. In Japan, if a train is more than a minute late, it's a major event. Once, a rail company issued a public apology because a train left the station 25 seconds early. Imagine a transport system so precise that being early is a mistake. Fact 20. This order is best seen at Shibuya Crossing. It's like a human waterfall. Up to 2,500 people cross the street at once every time the light turns green. From a bird's eye view, it looks like a perfectly choreographed dance where no one ever bumps into each other. Fact 21. While Tokyo is modern, Japan is also home to the oldest company in the world. Kongo Gumi is a temple-building firm founded in 578 AD. It has been operating continuously for over 1,400 years, surviving wars, natural disasters, and the rise and fall of shoguns. Fact 22. You'd think a city of 37 million would be dirty, but Japan is incredibly clean. Public trash cans are almost impossible to find because people are taught from childhood to take their rubbish home. This culture of omotenashi, or selfless hospitality, means taking responsibility for your own impact on the environment. Fact 23. Even the animals are polite. In Nara, the local wild deer have learned to bow. If you bow to a deer near the Todaiji temple, there is a very high chance it will bow back before asking for a shika senbei, a special deer cracker. Fact 24. This respect for nature extends to the plate. Washoku, or traditional Japanese cuisine, is so significant it's recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage. It's not just about the food, it's about the harmony of the ingredients and the seasons. Fact 25. You might notice that Japanese meals look small, often served in many tiny bowls. This is Ichiju Sansai, 1 soup, 3 sides. While the portions look modest, the variety of flavors and nutrients makes it incredibly satisfying without the food coma feeling. Japan is a land of contradictions, where 1,400-year-old companies sit next to high-tech toilets, and where the silence of a tea ceremony meets the chaos of Shinjuku. It's a place that teaches us that even in a fast-moving world, there is always time to notice the mist starting to linger. Welcome back to part 2 of our journey through 50 facts about Japan. We've explored micro-seasons and busy stations, but we're just getting started. Fact 26. When eating this food, remember the etiquette. Never drown your sushi in soy sauce. The chef has spent years learning how to balance the flavor. Soaking the rice in salt is considered an insult to the fish. Fact 27. Rules don't stop at the table, they enter the bathroom. In many Japanese homes, you will find toilet slippers. These are special shoes kept just inside the restroom door. You must swap your house slippers for these and, crucially, swap back when you leave. Forgetting to take them off is a classic tourist faux pas. Fact 28. If you're a fan of snacks, Japan is your kingdom. Because of the 72 micro-seasons we mentioned earlier, snacks like Kit Kats come in limited edition seasonal flavors. You can find everything from cherry blossom in the spring to roasted sweet potato in the autumn. Fact 29. For those looking for something deeper, there is Shojin Ryori. This is the traditional vegetarian cuisine of Buddhist monks. It's entirely plant-based and uses local vegetables and tofu to create umami flavors that are so rich you won't even miss the meat. Fact 30. On the flip side, Japan's food safety is so high that you can eat things that are forbidden elsewhere. Raw eggs are a staple over hot rice, and some restaurants even serve high-quality raw chicken sashimi. This is only possible because of incredibly strict farming and inspection standards. Fact 31. But some fish are still dangerous. Only licensed chefs can prepare fugu, or pufferfish. This fish contains a toxin 1-200 times deadlier than cyanide. Chefs must train for years and pass a rigorous exam where they have to eat their own prepared fish to prove it's safe. Fact 32. Beyond the food and the cities, Japan is a geographic marvel. It isn't just one island, it's an archipelago of 6,152 islands. While most people only know the main four, many of these smaller islands have their own languages and cultures. Fact 33. Most of that land is actually uninhabitable. About 73% of Japan is covered in mountains and dense forests. This is why the cities are so crowded. Everyone is squeezed into the small coastal plains, leaving the interior of the country feeling wild and mysterious. Fact 34. Deep beneath the waves, Japan is even more dramatic. The Japan Trench plunges over 10,000 meters deep. The country sits right on the Ring of Fire, which is why it has so much volcanic activity. Fact 35. That brings us to Mount Fuji. It's a stunning icon, but it's also an active stratovolcano. It hasn't erupted since 1707, but it is constantly monitored. For the Japanese, it is a sacred site and a symbol of the nation's soul. Fact 36. Further south in Kyushu, you'll find Mount Aso, which has one of the world's largest calderas. It's a massive volcanic basin so large that entire towns and railway lines are built inside of it. Fact 37. All this volcanic heat creates onsen, natural hot springs. These are a way of life in Japan. There are thousands of them, and soaking in these mineral-rich waters is the national pastime for relaxation. Fact 38. While the nature is ancient, so is the architecture. Japan once had over 5,000 castles. Today, only 12 original donjons remain, like the stunning Himeji Castle. Most were destroyed during the Meiji Restoration or World War II, making the survivors incredibly precious. Fact 39. The performing arts are just as enduring. Noh Theater has been performed for over 600 years. Actors wear masks and move with extreme slowness, telling ghost stories and legends that feel like they are coming from another dimension. Fact 40. Japan also boasts the world's oldest continuous monarchy. The Yamato dynasty has been on the throne for over 2,600 years. Even though the emperor's role is now symbolic, the lineage remains unbroken. Fact 41. If you visit these historic sites, don't try to tip. In Japan, tipping can actually be seen as offensive or confusing. Excellent service is considered a standard, not something you pay extra for. If you leave money on the table, the waiter might actually chase you down the street to return it. Fact 42. If you want to see where that service starts, head to the Toyosu Market. This is the world's busiest fish market. The famous tuna auctions happen at 5:1 a.m., where a single bluefin tuna can sell for over $1 million. Fact 43, we mentioned train punctuality, but the service goes further. If a train is delayed by more than a few minutes, the conductor will hand out delay certificates. You can give these to your boss to prove it wasn't your fault you were late. Fact 44. Back in the city, Shibuya isn't just a crossing, it's the epicenter of youth culture. Trends are born here every week. It's where the subcultures of Japan, from goth lolis to street fashionistas, come to show off. Fact 45. Did you know every region in Japan has its own mascot? These Yuru Kiara represent everything from prisons to tax offices. The most famous, Kumamoon, generates billions of dollars in revenue for his prefecture. Fact 46. There are even rules for your chopsticks. Never stick them upright in a bowl of rice. This looks like the incense sticks used at funerals and is considered a dark omen at the dinner table. Fact 47. Even the plates are part of the art. Japanese tableware is chosen to contrast or complement the specific food and the current season. You won't see a matching set of 50 identical plates. You'll see a curated gallery of ceramics. Fact 48. This appreciation for the moment is why Hanami is so big. In the spring, millions of people flock to parks to sit under cherry blossoms. It's a reminder that life is beautiful but very short. Fact 49. As a traveler, you'll find Japan is incredibly safe. It is one of the few places where people will walk you 3 blocks out of their way just to make sure you find your destination. Fact 50. And finally, the weirdest holiday tradition, Christmas at KFC. Because of a brilliant marketing campaign in the 1970s, many Japanese families believe fried chicken is the traditional Christmas meal. People have to order their Christmas buckets weeks in advance, and the lines wrap around the block on December 25th. Japan is a land of contradictions, where 1,400-year-old companies sit next to high-tech toilets, and where the silence of a tea ceremony meets the chaos of Shinjuku. It's a place that teaches us that even in a fast-moving world, there is always time to notice the mist starting to linger. If you enjoyed this journey through Japan, make sure to watch our next video on the secrets of the Himalayan mountains. You won't believe what they found at the top of Everest. Would you like me to create a similar script for another country, or perhaps dive deeper into Japanese history?